Your Honor, I don't believe there's any agreement on the case, so I'll go ahead and call the parties. I call the mother, Ruth. Ma'am, could you state your full name?
Ruth,
Okay. And ma'am, what's the name of the child involved in this case?
Nathaniel,
And how old is the child?
2.
Okay. And ma'am, are you asking for a child support judgment of $687.95 as of November 30th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that the father pay that off at $30 a month beginning January 1st, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, are you asking for a medical support arrears judgment of $37 as of November 30th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that he pay that off at $37 a month beginning January 1st, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, is it correct that you have health insurance through your employer
Yes, ma'am.
and that it costs you $318 a month just to cover the child?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, is it correct that the child has uh, health conditions at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And the child is on a heart transplant list, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And ma'am, we did a temporary order where we lowered the child support, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And we had an order from March of 2022 that based the father's support on $5,000 a month. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, where does the father work, to your knowledge?
Um, he works for CPS, Child Protective Services for the state of Texas.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is he a case supervisor?
Yes, ma'am.
And does he travel around the state for work?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you know that he has worked there in the past?
When I found out his identity, he told me, and then I know people that currently work there that works for him.
Okay, so you know someone who works there and they said
Hmm.
there's that he's still employed.
Yes, ma'am.
So you think he makes a minimum of $5,000 a month,
Yes, ma'am.
if not more?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so ma'am, are you asking that support be based off $5,000 a month gross?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're willing to give him credit for two other kids that he has?
All I know is that his kids were grown and in college. I don't know anything about any little kids. My son
Okay.
was the youngest kid that I knew about because he told me he had 3 kids with his wife and they were all in college.
Okay, so I'll take some testimony from the father about his other children. Um, ma'am, are you asking that medical support be based at $150 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that child support be set at $642 a month
Yes, ma'am.
and that be beginning January 1st, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that Mr. Be responsible for court costs?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, is it correct there's been no family violence between the two of you?
No, ma'am.
And you're not requesting a non-disclosure?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Um, ma'am, is there anything else that you want to tell the court?
No. That I'm like having trouble, like on the verge of losing my job because um, I don't the ins my ins he had Medicaid and because of his heart condition, he can't go to daycare. So I'm not having any help with babysitters. And so I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do because I don't have a babysitter and he can't go to daycare. And because my insurance won't pay for him to have a nurse anymore. So I'm just trying to figure out like what he can do for me to help me with, because I'm on the verge of losing my job because I'm calling in too much. And so I don't know what to do. So, and he's not helping at all.
Okay, pass a witness. I call the father Ola Tun Bosun. Is it correct that you previously worked for CPS?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you stated that you quit in June of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was because your grandfather had died?
Yes.
And sir, you said that you were planning to go to Africa for a couple of months, is that correct?
Yes.
Um, did you end up going?
No, I'm about leaving.
Okay. And sir, is it correct that you were ordered into the NCP Choices program?
Yes.
And sir, you did not participate in that?
No.
Why did you not participate?
Oh, because the issue that I have is I have a whole lot of family issues, and I just don't have the right frame of mind. So
Okay, and sir,
and
are
I have another family member that's terminally sick. So that's why I'm requesting that I have to be in at least for 4 or 5 months.
sir, are you still working for CPS?
No,
Why does the mother believe that you're still working and know someone who says you still work there?
I used to work for them, and I stopped in June, but I'm planning to go back.
You're planning to go back to work for CPS?
Yes, as soon as I come back from Africa.
Okay, and sir, you realize that it's been over 6 months, and you still haven't gone to Africa, or so it sounds like you're kind of
I'm
delaying
waiting for
the
this court
process.
date because I'm not sure whether I'll be able to talk to you all if I'm in Africa because of the internet connection or whatever. But that's
Okay,
why I held for this day, so I don't miss this date.
sir, are you in agreement to the child support judgment of $687.95?
I'm okay with all that.
Okay, and are you in agreement to pay that off at $30 a month?
Yes, I'm okay with all that. Yes, ma'am.
And sir, are you in agreement to the medical support judgment of $37?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're in agreement to pay that off at $37 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, are you in agreement for the mother to carry health insurance through her employer?
Say that again.
Are you in agreement for the mother to carry health insurance through her employer?
I mean, yes.
Okay. And sir, are you in agreement to medical support of $150 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in agreement to child support of $642 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, are you in agreement that there's been no family violence
Yes.
and you don't request a non-disclosure?
No. No. No.
Okay, pass a witness.
All right, I'm making a final order. There's been no family violence. You're going to be joint managing consorters with standard visitation, mother to provide health insurance. Medical support is set at $150 a month. Child support arrears, I think it was $687, payable at $30 a month. Medical support arrears are $37, payable at in full or at $37 a month until paid in full. I'm making a note here that you didn't participate with the choice program. I don't understand why. And so basically I'm setting your child support on what you could earn with CPS at $642 a month. Court costs as billed. I don't understand what's going on, sir, but you say you have family issues. Well, we got some family issues here. because you aren't. That sounds like you're not able to pay this amounts, and I don't. And it's mainly because you're choosing not to. I don't know. You have small arrears, but you have need to have an understanding that this children need your help, and so even if you go to Africa, you need to make your full payments each and every month. I don't know if that's possible if you leave. Um, so if it's not possible, then don't leave because you need to take care of your family that's here. Only payments paid through the child support office will count. The Attorney General's office will draft an order based on what I ruled. Y'all are both done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Your Honor, could we, before they leave, could I
Yes.
just ask, I forgot to ask Mr. Odetola if he has any other children.
Yes.
We calculated it based on him having two other children, but the mother contested whether or not he has two other kids. So, sir,
I have two. Yes, I have two children, and I have two adult children.
Are they under
under
18?
18?
Yeah, the two children I have, they're under 18. Yes.
What are the name
And
of those two
I
children?
have another
What
additional
are the name of
adult
the two
children.
children that are under 18?
Esther and Kingston.
Say that again, sir.
Esther and the other child is Kingston.
Where do they live?
They live with their mother.
Where?
In Texas, yeah.
Do you have a child support order for them?
No.
Do you have? Are you married to the mother?
Yes, to one of them, but not to the other one.
You're married to one of them?
To one of the one of the one of the kids, yeah.
Okay. Which child is that for?
The what?
Which child?
Esther.
Okay. When were you married to the mother?
3 years ago.
You don't know the date of your marriage?
That was it was common law. We lived together back and forth. So
You live together now?
before we actually did what?
Do you live together now?
No.
Did you get a divorce?
Not divorce, but just separated.
Okay, so you weren't married to her because you never had a ceremony and you never got a divorce, right?
Yes, I never had a divorce. Yes.
Okay, and you never had a ceremony either. So how do you say it's your wife if you were
Oh
never?
yeah,
never had a
I said
ceremony?
we lived together for a couple of years before we made it official.
I didn't ask if you lived with her. I asked if you got married.
Yes,
And
I got married. When you asked me for the date, I don't know. I know it's a couple of years.
you don't know when you got married though.
Oh, I got married with her. I think like 20 years, 21 years ago.
When I asked you the first time, you said you were common law married.
I said I didn't know the date we got married because prior to that we lived together
That's not
before
what you
we
told me
actually
the
got.
first time. The first time you told me you were common law married and you were living together, and then you were separated.
I
Which
was
story?
I was married to her, and then we got separated because I had issues, over the marriage. So
Did you not tell me at the beginning that y'all were common law married?
yeah, so
Okay.
the marriage, yes.
Okay. Well,
Initially, we lived together. We lived together before we made it official. So
I don't know what to believe here, sir, because it sounds to me like you're lying to me. One minute you're saying you're common law married and you don't live with her. Next thing you have a ceremony. You don't know when you were really married. Was the
sir,
It doesn't make a lot of sense. So what other
so
proof do we have that you're the biological children of these two other kids?
I mean, I have 4 kids. I have 5 kids, two adult children, and I have 3 children, to include Nathaniel.
That wasn't my question. My question was, what proof do you have that the other kids that are not with Miss AJ are your kids?
What is like birth certificate? Yeah, yes, I have one birth. Yeah, I could forward the birth certificate.
Sir, you were a former CPS supervisor. I would think you would know how someone can be assert that they're the father, or how someone that would have proof that they're the father, either by or with a different means of doing that. Are you saying you don't know, even with all your experience, how a father is acknowledged as the father of a child?
That's what I told you. On one of the kids, I'm on the birth certificate.
Miss Phillip, was the 642 without the two other children?
The 642 was based on him having two other children.
Calculated without them.
Okay.
Let me ask Miss AJ, do you know anything about these other two kids that he just mentioned?
No, I only knew that he had two kids with his wife, and they were in college.
Okay. This other lady that he says he married, is that a
No, I don't
different
know
child?
anything. I don't know anything about her. I just know that he's married to, her name is Janet or Jeanette Odatola.
Okay.
The child support would be 802.
All right. All right. Child support will be $802 a month instead of 642 because you have no proof that you have two other minor children besides the child with Miss AJ. You are if you were a CPS supervisor, you would know what acknowledged paternity is. You would know whether you got married or not and when you got married, because all of that would be relevant information that a CPS supervisor would know if you're dealing with children and trying to figure out who the parents are and where they should be placed and things like that. Those would be very relevant information. I can ask you at the beginning to tell me the truth. I expect you to tell me the truth, but I don't believe that you have. So I don't know what the problem is, but I'm adjusting the child support to 802. And then everything else that I mentioned earlier will stay in the same. All right. The Attorney General's office will draft an order. Y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.